Hello, trader. So, to those of you asking question on how I usually start my wave counting, if I'm to start a new count, okay? Let's take for example, if you pay attention to this, we join this old move upward there around somewhere here. Initially, yes, should have been our key starting point that we should have bought the market where upward, but we missed all entry here. And the reason why I asked you all to buy entry, I'm talking of this trade. While I asked every one of you guys to buy from this old entry here, let's look at the trade itself. Let us go on and look for the analysis. Okay. So I mean this trade that was April 26th. While I asked you all to look out for opportunity to buy the breakout. Okay, that was I think on Friday. That was when I sent the analysis. Now what I usually pay attention to each time I want to do my analysis, it's simple, which you all can as well learn one or two things from. Now, this is my daily time frame. I do use 4 hour, I do use 1 hour, I do use weekly. Do you get me now? But I love to start my analysis from that of higher time frame. Priority is to first of all pinpoint the low and the high, right? This is the high, right? And this is the what? The low. What did I mean by low? At least what I mean by low is that of what? Support. That is what I mean by what? The low level. The high is also what I mean resistant area. So my priority is to be able to pinpoint this. Having done this, all I'm looking out for, I want to trade the impulse. Like I said, I don't like to trade correction. Only when we have patterns such as triangles. That's when I love to trade, that's when I love to trade correction. Just in the case of this whole entry that I gave you all to short this market downward. That was some months back, last month. That was when I called out the trade out to every one of you guys to short the market downward. Let me look the trade, okay? I mean this. So it is because of only this pattern I did that. Without this pattern, I'm not going to trade the correction, okay? Or if it is pure price action, I can use other reason. But without that, I advise you all to stay out of what? Correction pattern. Now, if you look at this whole area, having done this, marking up our high and our low, all we simply need to look out for is it that we have a what? Impulse or correction. If you look here, this whole levels there, it is clearly obvious that these are all correction downward, right? Why this is the new impulse that is going where? Upward. Don't forget, we miss entry from all this whole area here. So our entry now is I want to see how we can take trade in line with what this time frame is telling us, what the higher time frame is telling us. So having done this, all I simply did was to go to that of 4-hour time frame. Now on my 4-hour time frame, I did zoom in. You can see when I zoom this in, I could clearly see that this is a what? A new impulse, which I did start my counting with this as wave 1, right? Wave 2. Then is the wave 3 that is going where? Upward. Now, we don't have wave 5 and wave 4 yet. Note, although wave 3 have started itself, but we miss all entry at this whole area here. All I'm looking out for is to trade in line with that of what? The wave 3, which is the impulse, the dominant trend, and that's why we are looking out for opportunity to what? To trade in line with what we call money wave, which is that of the third wave. Now, within that of wave 2, if you clearly see, what we have here is that we have a 3 sub-wave within it, which this is wave A, B, C, right? Now, this is wave 2. Now, every one of us need to pay attention to want to know the end point of this wave 2. That is when Fibonacci retracement level comes in place. Now, I will click on my free retracement level from that of the low to the end, from the start of wave 1 to the end point of that of wave 1. Now, if you pay attention to this, if you notice, my free retracement level end at that of 50% and that of 61.8% ratio. So all I could clearly see is that all this whole area here, they are my end point of wave 2. So that was the reason why I was able to pinpoint that this whole tree is going to go where? Upward. Don't forget, the higher time frame we have been able to mark up our high and our what? Low. Our low is the same thing what I call as our support level. Now, once we've done we are through with that, all I simply need to do is that, what are the reasons? What should I look out for? What are the things I should be looking out for? Possibility that price is going to pull back for me to join the old trend. Don't forget, here should have been my entry, but I missed all this old entry. I want to see the reason why I should trade in line with that of the what? The bullish structure. So all I need to do, let me uncheck every other levels I'm not using. Okay. So we are not using that of all these levels I'm unchecking. So why we stick to that of what? 61.8% and 50% ratio. Okay, that's the end point of wave 2. Now, having done this, you could clearly see that at the end point of that of wave 1, it is a resistance level. Resistance broken, there is possibility that when price break a resistance, it's going to come back and go backward, upward, which is the reason why I said next week we look for price at these entry levels. Look for entry at this level breakout. You can see the reason why I said that it's simple is because of this whole area. It is a resistance level. Price is going to pull back to that level and start going well upward. I traded such opportunity in line with same approach on that of NASDAQ itself. That was last year. Let's look at the trade itself. Let me go to my journal so that every one of us can see it together. If you look here, okay, so that was last year, NASDAQ. So the same approach of what I did this year, and that's what I also did last year on that of the NASDAQ. So all you guys need to pay attention to is that history usually what? Repeat itself. This is 2024, and here was the move. Though this did not move to this whole area here, it ended at this whole area here, pull back to that of 161.8% ratio before start going backward, upward. So it is the same approach, but in this case, note I said to you, we are not trading correction. The reason why I label my correction is that for me to make my analysis more presenting. That was the reason why I label my what? My correction. Now note this, had it been this wave B here presented triangles, I will have short the market also. But if I'm on my desk when this completion of this wave B here, this is a new count, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. I will have also what? Short this market downward. Now notice, every one of you guys also need to understand that when we have that of end point of wave 2, how do we know the end point of wave 3? All you simply need to do is to apply your fib extension. You're going to click from the starting point of that of wave 1 to the end point of wave 1 and to the end point of that of wave 2. Now your wave 3 should end at these levels. Note, at 161.8% ratio, the least. Wave 3 should not be below that of 100% ratio. If it is, what that tells us is that wave 3 is shorter than that of wave 1, which the rules of wave principle that state that wave 3 should not be the shortest, it has break it. So our counting is wrong. We need to go back and start counting. That was the reason why I project that price is going to get to 161.8% ratio. It is because with fib retracement level, we usually know the end point of what? Wave 3. That was the reason why I project the market to get to these old levels here. Now, aside from that, if you notice, the 161.8% ratio, it is also the high levels. Note, if price is coming from that of a low, there is always possibility that it will go to the next high. So, and also if you look at this whole area as our high, it is also close to that of what? Our resistance levels, and our that of what? 161.8% ratio. So that was the reason why I anticipated that this whole market is going to go up to this whole area here. Also, if you join me over the weekend, I said to every one of you guys, when the price pull back to this area here, I said you have nothing to be worried that this market is going to go up to this area here. It simply means having been able to understand what the markets have been doing several times gave me the confirmation that these are things I should do. Now, this is an example of that of NASDAQ. Now let's go to that of I also did the same approach on that of German 30. So let's go to German 30. That was last 2 months, the same approach of while I bought the market, and I also explained to you guys in details. It's still in profit. Sometimes when we have an extended wave, you can see it here. You can see it here. This is wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. Now, initially, I closed up my entry like this whole area here. But with what I have here, it is an elongated third wave. So price is moving greatly. So you have nothing to be worried. Having been able to understand this basic stuff I explained to you are also good to what? To go. Now, let's go to this also. At least I expect price to get to this probably tomorrow. Then if it get to this, we are likely going to have around somewhere here, excuse me, we are likely going to have a pullback, because what we clearly have here, it is a sideways market. But I'm not saying that gold is not going to go upward again. It will. But we are likely going to have a retracement before a continuation. So if you are holding that of the gold trade, if you are holding this gold analysis, I expect you guys to trade stop your trade because of non-farm payroll tomorrow. Okay, now on that of the EURUSD, now let's go to EURUSD back. April 28th, I did this analysis. I said to you guys, I don't trade correction only when I have a pattern called triangles. Now, the pattern triangles tells us that the dominant trend is going to resume. Now, if you look this whole market here, which is that of the correction, it is a clear indication that this whole market is a bearish. And what I mean by that of the dominant trend, it is that once the triangles complete, the next move is the market is going to go downward. That was the reason why I asked every one of you guys to short EURUSD last month. So you have nothing to be worried about when you spot a triangle. But there are things that triangles need to have. You need to have three subwave aside from the 5 subwave that are labeled out of A, B, C, D, E. Within it, at least 4 of it should have three subwave. If you look at this case here, within that of my wave A, I have 3 subwave A, B, C. Within that of my wave B, I have 3 subwave A, B, C. Within that of my wave C, I have 3 subwave A, B, C. Within that of my wave D, I have 3 subwave A, B, C. You see this? Now, it is only at that of wave E that is not clearly what? Obvious. In as much you have 3 subwave at that of the 5 wave, 4 out of the 5, you are good to what? You are good to go. Like I said, the dominant trend is going to resume. What is the dominant trend there? The market was bearish before the convergence of that of what? The triangles. And the next move is that of what? Price going downward. Also, note, no matter how, we did not expect wave E to get to above that of wave C. If it did that, our triangles is wrong. That was the reason why I placed my stop loss at the end point of that of what? Wave C. So a lot of you guys asking question. The reason why I asked you guys to sell this whole market downward since April 28th, that's when I did the analysis. But the reason why I asked you to sell here downward, it is because of the formation of triangle that was spotted at that of the correction of wave 4. Now, while I asked you, I projected price to go upward again from this whole area here. It is because the dominant trend, the main structure of the impulse, which is that of the bullish, here is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 upward. We expect wave 5 to also go upward. Before maybe the ending of this month, I still expect that of EURUSD to get to this whole levels there. If there is no truncated fifth wave, I expect it to do what? Get to this level. At least it should get to this end point of that of wave 3. Now, that was also the reason why I asked every one of you guys to leverage on this whole trade here. Note, I usually wait for the right opportunity to present themselves to me. I don't just call out trade. Now, what did I mean by that? There are times the market is not going to present highly potential opportunity for you. The best thing you should do is to wait. So there's no point of you chasing trade. So if you look at this whole trade then, since almost 2 months now, it's still in what? It's still in profit. Likewise, this has been playing around several times, but I believe it's going to go upward, at least minimum of price getting to this whole area here. So every one of you guys that are holding all this whole trade, I expect you all to withhold it at least to this whole area here, giving you minimum 400 pips, but there is possibility that is going to give us around 720 pips, which is the end point of this wave 5 here. So those are the reason why I call out the trade. But if you are the type that leverage from this whole entry here, if you are the type that took advantage of this whole from this whole entry here, you are the type, or you took advantage of the conservative entry, I expect you guys to move your stop loss to somewhere here. Move your stop loss to somewhere here. But if you are the type that take entry from this whole area here, that I call out a entry in figure, for those that did not leverage on this sharp entry, I expect you guys to keep your stop loss around somewhere here. Okay, while you allow the market to keep what? Money. Or every one of you guys can as well what? Move your stop loss to somewhere here. But there is possibility that because of non-farm payroll tomorrow, price is likely can trace a little bit before what? Go upward. We never can tell how huge the spike is going to be. So those are my take on all the old trade I've been able to call out. This is in profit, but I expect this to complete our final target. Probably tomorrow, I'm likely going to ask you guys to move your stop loss to somewhere here. Once I've been able to read the momentum of what price is telling me on that of the higher time frame. So thank you. If you have any other question, if you want to know more about trades I call out, you can always join this platform here. Note, all the old trade I call out are swing trade. I'm not a scalper. I'm also not a gambler. Do you get me now? I'm a position trader. I'm a swing trader. Those are things I do. I do retail trade for long. If you look at this gold analysis itself, initially the old entry that will start buying upward, I've not sell any gold this year. All my trade, I started buying gold around this whole area here. And why did I buy this gold upward there? It is because of these bullish triangles there. So all this move upward there, it is an extension within that of wave 5. It is this whole wave 5 because we have a long wave 5. So that was the reason why I've been buying gold. So I'm not just saying this. You can go through this platform. We see all the old trade before the market, before it plays out. I do explain a lot of details before I send out the trade out, why I'm buying, what are the reasons behind it. So you can learn one or two things from the old platform here. I don't just call out trade, which is the reason why I have journal. From over 4 years now, I have journals. You can go back and look at the trade I've been call out. I will send the analysis before, and I will also send the analysis after to see what I'm anticipating and while I'm looking out for opportunity to trade such opportunity. So all these, they are previous trade I've called out, previous trade, previous trade, previous trade, previous trade. You can see it. This is EURUSD, EURUSD. You can see. So the power of understanding third wave, which is the money wave, we call it money wave. You can see here, this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, upward. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to show you guys here now, what price is currently doing is what we have on that of this, what we have on this EURUSD. It is what price is currently doing on that of this EURUSD here. So, but this whole pattern here is not obvious of that of diagonal. That was the reason why I did not label it. So, but it's the same thing we have on the previous trade I've traded several times. So if you want to know more about it, you can go to this platform. You will see it. So I don't just call out trade just because I want to call out trade. I will do the top-down analysis. You will see the risks, the levels I'm taking entry. What are the things I'm looking out for? So the money is in the waiting. It has nothing to do with buying and selling. I advise every one of you guys to be on the lookout tomorrow because of the non-farm payroll. Thank you all. Bye.